As you just heard, that was a new gun in this new update for the game Light Brigade. What's up, people? One Nut Punch here, going to be talking to you about the new class they added called the Saboteur. In 4.0, they added something called the Phantom of Time. And this new class is actually pretty damn fun, all things considered. What they did is they added a new class that gives you a revolver, Smith and Wesson 500. It sounds very, very loud, so I have to dumb down the decibel rate just so it doesn't ear pierce the shit out of you. The other thing is this timepiece. What this does is that it stops time technically. You're like a shadow or like a ghost. The enemy will shoot at that ghost rather than shoot at you. So when you pop up, then they'll see you when you're like done with the time clock. The other thing it does is empower your weapon. So it does max damage. And it does like about half, if not all the way damage to level 1s. Level 2s take about half. Level 3s about maybe a quarter depending upon what they are. The other thing was the cylinder and the gun itself. You can kind of mess with spinning the cylinder. You can grab it and lock it in place. I'll show it off a little bit later. Another thing when it comes down to the timepiece is that once you activate it, you have to shoot the empowered shot while you're in that actual mode. If you go out of the mode and go back to normal, you won't get that empowered shot. And once you fire it, that's it. You have to do the activation again in order to get another empowered shot. Kind of similar when it comes down to the charms on your weapon, like piercing, ricochet, or the bomb. I will say when it comes down to using it with the iron sights, it's pretty easy to use, not to mention getting a holographic or red dot sight and then firing from afar or mid-range. Very easy to use, not to mention the recoil in the game. I completely forgot that it has physics, so when I tried to shoot the gun one-handed, it would just bounce everywhere, and it took forever before it actually started to align to where I was trying to shoot at, so it's highly recommended to go two-handed. The other thing is that when you're trying to use the gun and you're going super far away, you have to line up the white outline on the nose of the gun where the barrel is to the sides of the iron sight, because sometimes if you're going too low or too high, you're not actually aiming at them and you're going over or under. Had to realize that the hard way when I was trying to mess with it earlier. That being said, there were some other things in the patch notes I wanted to talk about. For example, the new world called Memorial Grounds. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this in particular is because I did not think that it was in this update that it came out. I thought it was the previous one with the Hunter or the Bow class. So when I got there and I was messing around with the different NPCs shooting at me, and I had my own soldier friends from the Light Brigade kind of help me out, I was like, I can't remember if this was new or if it was something old. But I'll show it off later, as well as the holographic sight on the revolver. The other thing is that they increased the drop rate for the arrow ammo. They increased hunter health from 15 to 20. The arrow visibility is also improved, as well as a new grab position for the knife. Didn't see that yet. They did some various improvements and lights on the Quest 2. Fixed firing range sequences, gunshot sound positions when moving. The other thing when it comes down to the actual revolver, I wish they would kind of change the audio, because not only is it loud as hell, it sounds like I'm firing the old Gewehr, and then every time it's done, like shooting it off, it does that ding sound. So I'm hoping that gets changed later as they progress with this update. So before the end of the video, I'm going to show you this new area that I've been to, which is called the Memorial Grounds, and this is the actual new map that came out with this update. I do like it. It's kind of open, but it also has cover to where you can go to tombstones, some ruins, and some pillars, stand behind them and take fire, and then be able to reposition yourself somewhere else. The only thing I'll say about this when it comes down to this level is that when you use the timepiece, it's highly valuable to get the hell out of places, because number one, it does have a cooldown, and number two is that once activated, it's not very long or doesn't last very long until you upgrade it later when you go back to the last temple. I think currently right now I have level 2 when it comes down to the timepiece, and then a wand, and then level 1 passive. I didn't have very much time to play. I got up to maybe level 7, and then my Quest 2 died from battery loss, or I didn't have enough power in the battery, or probably forgot to charge it anyway. That being said, I wanted to show this off at least, and talk a little bit about my experience playing the new class, which I do like a lot. That being said, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video. I did have a couple more videos coming on the way for probably this week or next week. Going to talk a little bit about Tactical Assault VR because I've been late for that new operation, while also talking about my experience playing with the new different types of AI movements on Blade and Sorcery, because they added some more finishers, shield bashes, and other different types of combat. But anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. I'll see you later in the next one.